Throughout history, there have always been books so feared that they were banned, hidden away, and surrounded by dark legends. Just whispering their titles was enough to conjure images of ancient spells, curses, and forbidden knowledge that could drive a person insane. What kind of books could inspire such dread in both clergymen and rulers? Why were they believed to possess a mystical power capable of altering the reader's mind? In this video, we'll journey through the pages of the most mysterious, mystical, and esoteric texts, books that have carried an aura of danger and secrecy for centuries. We'll explore tales of forbidden manuscripts that inspire a sacred kind of fear, from the legendary grimoire of madness to a manuscript no one has ever been able to read. Get ready to dive into a world where myth and reality intertwine, and each book becomes a test for the brave. Would you dare open one and uncover what lies within? Forbidden mystical books that alter the mind, the Necronomicon, the legendary grimoire of madness. The name alone sends shivers down the spine of horror fans. This mysterious grimoire, invented by writer H.P. Lovecraft, gained such a dark reputation that it feels almost real. Lovecraft described it as a book of forbidden knowledge, so dangerous that reading it could drive a person mad. According to legend, the Necronomicon was written by a mad Arab named Abdul al-Hazard, and its pages are filled with ancient incantations that can open portals to other worlds, to monsters lurking in the abyss. No wonder that, in Lovecraft's stories, a single glance at the book often came at the cost of one's sanity. Even if the Necronomicon is pure fiction, it has earned a real-world reputation as the most dangerous occult book of all time. In Lovecraft's mythos, copies of the Necronomicon are said to be locked away in major libraries, while religious institutions have condemned and outlawed it. Supposedly, in many countries, this work is banned and removed from circulation by the church. Of course, that's all part of the literary game, but some people take it further. In the 20th century, there were attempts to publish the Necronomicon as a real book, complete with forged ancient manuscripts. Every couple of decades, a new translation of the grimoire appears on the market, keeping the myth alive. Does the Necronomicon truly exist, or is it nothing more than an elaborate hoax? Perhaps the answer to that question could unhinge more than a few minds, just as Lovecraft warned. The Book of Enoch, an apocryphon hidden from the world. One of the oldest forbidden texts is the Book of Enoch, a mysterious Old Testament apocryphon that was excluded from the Bible and kept from the public eye for centuries. According to tradition, the patriarch Enoch, a righteous man who lived before the flood, was taken up into the heavens, where the angels revealed to him the secrets of creation. The text describes the Watchers, fallen angels who descended to earth, and the birth of the Nephilim, giants born from their union with humans. These revelations were so bold that early guardians of the canon questioned whether mortals should be allowed to know such secrets. Some early Christian authors revered the Book of Enoch as scripture, but by the 4th century it had vanished from the Western tradition. The Church excluded it from the Bible, and for a long time, the book was considered lost. Yet the legends surrounding it never faded. Whispers claimed that the Book of Enoch contained prophecies about the end of the world and even the name of the Messiah, reasons, some said, why it was banned. It wasn't until the 18th century that a manuscript was rediscovered in Ethiopia. There, the text had been preserved as sacred. It turned out to be a mystical treatise describing Enoch's journeys through the 7 heavens and the infernal depths, his conversations with angels, and even secrets about the coming judgment upon unclean spirits. To modern readers, the Book of Enoch offers a sense of ancient mysticism. It feels like holding a key to the mysteries of biblical times. It's no surprise that the book is still surrounded by an aura of danger. Its historical ban only added to its mystical appeal. Who knows what changes in perception could be triggered by reading the words once deemed too daring for humanity. Liber vel Legis, Aleister Crowley's revelation. In 1904, English occultist Aleister Crowley, dubbed the Great Beast by the press, claimed he received a stunning spiritual revelation while in Cairo. For 3 days, precisely at noon, an invisible entity named Iwas dictated a text to him, which Crowley transcribed like an obedient scribe. Thus was born the Book of the Law, Liber vel Legis, the sacred text of a new esoteric doctrine called Thelema. This small book proclaimed the arrival of the Aeon of Horus, a new era for humanity, with the now famous words, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." Its content was so mysterious and symbolic that many saw it as a dangerous challenge to established morality. Unsurprisingly, scandals erupted around Crowley almost immediately. Victorian society was scandalized by his mystical experiments and blatant defiance of religion. Although Liber was never officially banned, it has long been shrouded in dark stories. Crowley himself treated the book with reverent awe and even warned that studying it could be dangerous. At the very end of the manuscript, a cryptic warning appears: "The study of this book is forbidden. Whosoever shall explain a word of it, let him be accursed." These words only fueled the book's mystical reputation. It was said that Crowley's entire life revolved around the mysteries of the Book of the Law, deciphering its numerological codes and searching for hidden messages. His followers claimed the text had a subconscious effect, awakening dormant forces within the reader. It's no wonder that Orthodox religious leaders of the 20th century labeled Crowley's writings as satanic and warned their congregations to stay away. Liber vel Legis remains a cult and controversial book to this day, seen by some as a source of personal freedom and magical inspiration, and by others as a dangerous occult manifesto that's best kept locked away. But no matter how people feel about it, its words continue to intrigue and transform the worldview of a new generation, those in search of hidden knowledge. The Secret Doctrine, Theosophy's Forbidden Knowledge. In the late 19th century, Helena Blavatsky, founder of the Theosophical Society, shocked the world with a monumental work titled The Secret Doctrine. Published in 1888 in 2 volumes, the book claimed nothing less than a revelation of the hidden laws of the universe, a synthesis of science, religion, and ancient wisdom. Blavatsky insisted that her knowledge came from secret manuscripts and the teachings of Eastern Mahatmas, enlightened sages who lived in seclusion. The result was an encyclopedia of esotericism, covering everything from the cosmogony of ancient civilizations to the occult history of humankind. Contemporaries were stunned. Never before had such mystical theories been presented so boldly and openly. Clergy denounced her work as blasphemy, scientists dismissed it as pseudoscience, while her followers hailed her as a prophet of a new era. The Secret Doctrine was often described as a book capable of transforming the reader's consciousness. Theosophists believed that studying the work awakened spiritual vision, revealed the unity of all religions, and offered insight into the mysteries of existence. It's no wonder that publishers once advertised it with the phrase, "There is no greater enigma in Western literature than the Secret Doctrine." In parts of Europe and Asia, the book's distribution was viewed with suspicion by authorities. Its ideas, about a universal soul, reincarnation, and ancient root races, were seen as too radical. In Nazi Germany during the 1930s, theosophical literature was officially banned. The totalitarian regime refused to tolerate teachings about the brotherhood of nations. Even so, the book continued to circulate underground, quietly capturing the minds of truth seekers. It was banned, but it was read, and it changed people. Some, after reading thousands of its pages, became devoted mystics. Others turned into critics of the occult. But no one remained indifferent. Even today, more than a century later, Blavatsky's work still acts as a magnet for curious minds. Perhaps it's the fear of the unknown, of the knowledge this book might truly hold, that gave rise to all the prohibitions surrounding it. The Voynich manuscript, the unreadable codex. While other forbidden books frighten with their content, the mysterious Voynich manuscript is itself one giant question mark. This illustrated 15th century manuscript, written in an unknown language, has baffled the world's top cryptographers for decades. No one has yet deciphered the meaning hidden in its ornate lines. According to legend, the manuscript passed through the hands of alchemists, emperors, and even inquisitors, yet none were able to decode it. And so the rumors began. Some believe it's a book of witches or magicians, who encrypted their knowledge to escape the flames of persecution. The pages of the manuscript are adorned with strange, dreamlike illustrations, unknown plants, astrological diagrams, and bizarre naked figures bathing in mysterious pools. Each image feels like a waking dream, raising more questions than answers. The Voynich manuscript carries an aura of danger not because it was ever officially banned, but because of the mystical ignorance that surrounds its contents. There are many theories. Some believe it to be a medieval textbook on alchemy or herbal medicine. Others suspect it's an elaborate hoax. Still others think it might be a message from extraterrestrials. Scholars have proposed everything from a cipher hiding a European language to a completely artificial script, or even the possibility that the entire text is meaningless, just a jumble of invented symbols. But none of these theories have been proven, and where there is no certainty, fear creeps in. Rumors spread that some researchers who became obsessed with decoding the manuscript eventually lost their minds. Of course, there's no documented evidence of this, but the atmosphere surrounding the Voynich manuscript is undeniably heavy. Anyone who holds it in their hands feels it. Cracking this code means playing with your own consciousness. And what if the mystery is solved, and the world is never the same again? As long as its lines remain unreadable, it stands as the most neutral, and at the same time most disturbing of the forbidden books. A book no one has managed to ban, but no one has been able to understand. Codex Gigas, the Devil's Bible. On the shelves of a medieval library, one book towered above the rest, literally. The Codex Gigas, or giant book, weighs nearly 75 kilograms. But it wasn't just its size that shocked people, it was its contents. Alongside the sacred scriptures, the manuscript contains a full-page illustration of the devil himself. Because of that chilling image, it became known as the Devil's Bible, and legends claimed it was created with the help of demonic forces. According to the tale, a Benedictine monk in a Bohemian monastery broke his vows and was sentenced to a gruesome punishment, being walled up alive. To escape his fate, he promised to copy the entire Bible in a single night. When he realized the task was impossible, he turned to a fallen angel for help. The devil appeared, completed the book, left behind a full-size self-portrait, and took his price. The monk's soul, or so the legend goes. Though historians doubt the story's accuracy, the aura of sin and horror has clung to the Codex Gigas ever since. Its history is filled with dramatic twists. After the monastery closed, the enormous book made its way to the imperial court and later was taken by Swedish forces as war loot. In 1697, a fire broke out in the Royal Library of Stockholm. Flames threatened to consume the priceless tome. In the chaos, the Devil's Bible was thrown from a window to save it. And, according to legend, the falling book seriously injured someone below, as if the dark force behind it made sure to strike one last time. But the monstrous volume survived. Its charred pages are still preserved in Sweden, and to this day, people say the book is cursed. In the 19th century, a library worker who entered the hall where the Codex Gigas was stored was later found in a state of madness. He reportedly mumbled that, in the dead of night, he saw the heavy tome float down from its shelf and begin to dance, surrounded by other books flying around it. The poor man never recovered. He spent the rest of his days in an asylum for the insane. Of course, it could simply be a tale pulled from the pages of a Victorian newspaper. But when you step up to the glass case where the Devil's Bible is displayed today, a chill runs down your spine. On the right-hand page of the open spread grins a green-faced, horned demon, raising his clawed hands. Opposite him, on the left page, stands an allegory of the heavenly Jerusalem, a city-castle built of orange bastions. The contrast is striking and unsettling. Heaven and hell stare each other down on these pages, a reminder of the eternal battle between good and evil. As you study the terrifying image of Satan in the Codex Gigas, you can't help but wonder, what if the legend is true? What if this book really was created with help from dark forces? Could reading its pages bring misfortune? It's said that medieval monks would avoid gazing at the devil's portrait for too long, fearing for their souls. And even though the Devil's Bible is no longer banned, its infamous reputation lives on as the largest and most sinister book in history. Conclusion. The stories of these books are stories of human fear and curiosity. They were banned by kings and popes, burned by inquisitors, hidden away in secret chambers of libraries. And yet, people kept searching for them and reading them, risking their sanity and their reputations. Why? Perhaps because forbidden fruit tastes sweeter, and a forbidden book doubly so. The moment authorities declare knowledge dangerous, It begins to lure us in with a force stronger than any spell. Today, we may view many of the myths surrounding these sinister books with skepticism. We know that it's not the book we should fear, but our own vulnerability. After all, pages on their own can't drive someone mad. It's our minds that give them that power. Do these ancient tomes truly contain evil? Or is it simply our fear of the unknown that casts this shadow? Each of these books is a kind of mirror. And when you look into it, you don't just see words. You see a reflection of your own hidden hopes and fears. Some will find wisdom, others the abyss. To pick up a forbidden manuscript or not, that choice is yours. But one thing is certain. The mystical whisper around these books has never gone silent. And their secret influence still waits for those bold enough to unlock it.